Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Unlucky, a memoir. My name is Kat. Everyone has a story. This one just happens to be mine. Welcome back. Another week. And again, don't think I'm keeping my promises to y'all. As much as I want to be linear and just continue down this story, as things happen, I feel the need to talk about them because my memory may be pretty good for things from the past, but I'm not sure how much I'm going to hold on to these current memories and situations. So it's been a week, it was decent. Nothing to really complain about, but church on Sunday, our campus pastor gave the message, and the one part that just really hit me was when he was talking about disqualifying ourselves. And I've been really good at that most of my life. I'm not smart enough. I'm not qualified enough. I'm not this, that, or whatever enough for so many things. And this goes back to me talking about fear and how fear dictated so much of my life, and still to this day does. I do my best to fight past that fear, but it's a work in progress. Keep y'all updated. So as he's telling this part of the sermon, talking about how we don't feel we're good enough for things or we're qualified for things, we immediately just take ourselves out of the equation without even an attempt. And not this past year, it was the summer before. I remember I was walking in church, and our kidsman person approached me and said, "Kat, I need a favor." And right away, I'm like, "Yeah, of course. What do you need?" Because that's my general answer when anybody at church asks me for something. And she proceeded to say, "I need you to volunteer at kids camp." And my defenses flew up immediately, and I told her, yeah, I got to think about it. I got to see what my schedule. I had every excuse, like on redial, just threw every one of them out there. And she wasn't pushy. She, okay, just let me know. Because my brain, when I was asked that, said, "You don't know me. If you knew me, you wouldn't be asking me. Why would you ever want me to be around children and try to help them get closer to God, get just whatever it is?" I felt so inadequate. And then even more so when I found out I was going to be a small group leader for the fifth graders, right? And I didn't find out right away. I sat with this and just wanting to say no. But God put it on my heart that this is something I needed to do. So I finally agreed to do it. And that's when I found out I was going to be a small group leader for the fifth graders. And that in itself that's scary enough. But then I found out that my pastor's son was going to be one of the people in my group. And immediately I was like, oh, great, I'm about to get schooled on the Bible by a fifth grader. Awesome. And I walked into this thing with every reason why I shouldn't be there, every reason why it was going to go wrong, every reason why I would never be asked to volunteer to do anything else for the church ever again. And figured I just, whatever, it's going to be horrible, but I'll just go run and hide afterwards. I'll never come back. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, especially coming from the background that I came from the addiction and the mental health, like everything that I struggled with in my life should be a red flag saying, not this guy. But I decided that this is something I needed to do, and I needed to push past that fear. And I did it. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. I'm so grateful. And I thank her on a regular basis and bring up that story of her asking me and how much that meant to me over and over and over again. I know she's not tired of hearing it, but the joke is she's probably tired of hearing it. Man, I went in there and it was a week long of, I forget the times, but I think it was like 4 hours, 5 hours every, like Monday through Friday for a week in the summer. And I went in there not sure. I had some good leaders that were with me. And we got through, and it was one of the best weeks of my life. It was awesome. I had such a good experience. And I'm grateful that I did it. And this year they kind of changed things up for kids camp. And it's, instead of being a week, it's here and there throughout the year. And with my position now, I just don't have the time. But I was legit bummed out. Like, I was originally bummed out that I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do it because of my schedule this year. Like, but then they changed it, and it was like, well, even if I didn't have my schedule, I still wouldn't, it's not the same thing. But I was still bummed out I couldn't do it even the one night or here and there. But that's what I keep saying, like, on the other side of fear are miracles and blessings and a life I never dreamed of. That's what's on the other side of fear. And I have empirical evidence. That's how it works. Like, I moved through, and like, again, I told my buddy yesterday, I'm like, since I turned 50, I'm trying to operate outside of fear. I'm not trying to let fear dictate things anymore. I'm trying to push past that. And it's been a struggle. It's been a week or so settle down. But I have empirical evidence on what's happened on the other side of fear. And like I told him, I go, not like I'm standing on a cliff and fear is telling me not to jump. That's a healthy fear. I want to keep those. I want to keep the ones, but I need to start to get my brain to differentiate between like life or death situations fear and like the fears that aren't going to, there's nothing wrong with walking through that fear because what's the worst that's going to happen? And there's been fears I thought that might kill me that I wouldn't be here if I didn't walk through them. So I guess that's what I'm getting at is like, again, I just need to keep walking through fear and don't just walk away from something because you immediately disqualify yourself. Sometimes all you need is to walk into it, and maybe you aren't qualified, but that's where you figure it out, right? That's what I did most of my life. I figured it out, and I did that for the worst decisions ever in my life. Now maybe I need to start dealing with the best decisions I've been making. Because again, I'll get to this story later on, but getting out here, wanting to take my own life and telling myself coming here was the worst decision I ever made. A few days after I got to Colorado, to being a month later on the phone with a friend of mine after I got accepted into a program saying, this might be the best decision I ever made. So it's just about like surviving that fear and walking through it and coming out the other side and realizing like you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. And I'm starting to understand that now, but it's still a challenge. It's still a struggle. And like, I know going to do this, that, or the other thing, and I'm talking about healthy decisions, like, but scary decisions. I know that these decisions aren't going to kill me, and the worst that's going to happen is I might feel a little embarrassed, whatever. But I've gotten here. I survived hell. I survived things that other people, when I tell them stories, look at me like with this unbelievable shock. But I've made it through those things. I'm still here. And I found purpose in my life. So again, like I tell you all the time, these videos are really more for me than anybody else. I really hope they help somebody else, but I'm just sitting here trying to convince myself that I can do all these things that I really want to do. Regardless of the outcome, I'm going to make it through. And that's where my faith falls into place. God didn't bring me this far along to let me fall and let me fail. His plan, not mine. I'm just doing my best to follow it. And with that, I'm really grateful, truly grateful for each and every one of you who tune in and check out my videos on a weekly basis. You don't understand how much this helps my journey. And again, please like, share, subscribe, feed the algorithm for me so maybe these videos can get to some more people. And hopefully somebody who's struggling with a similar situation watches this video and realizes, like, I can do it too, because you can. And again, truly grateful. Thank you all for coming along this journey with me on a weekly basis. And with that, catch y'all next week.